Good afternoon, everybody. It is 2:36. We're running a little late. I apologize. I needed a little bit of a caffeine kick. We have our agenda before us. We have 7 items. We have call to order and introductions, public comment, approval of minutes for June 23rd, 2016, the increase in the fund number and cost impact, status of year-end beginning balance, the adjournment, and then future Brac meeting schedule. Actually, 6 items, sorry. So, call to order and introductions, if we can start. You can do an introduction.
Richard Harshaw, I represent CSEA.
Thank you. Go ahead.
I'm Nuna Graykin. I'm the new student trustee, and I'm here for the associate students.
Is it Barnhart, Administration?
Mark Woodward from the Faculty Association.
Mary Erin Crook from the Academic Senate.
Monica Weingart, Fiscal Services.
And LaKanya Fennessy stepped out for me for a second to grab something, but she's with Fiscal Services. And I'm Joe Simonesci with Business Services.
And Joe, you're chairing today?
Yes, Richard
Okay.
Had another appointment,
Okay.
so he apologizes, but he'll be here next time.
Okay.
Do we have any public comment cards?
Yes, we do, actually. Mr. Leonard Smith.
Hello. Thank you. So Leonard Smith to address Brac, agenda item number 2. Okay.
Well, hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, just like they say, I'm Leonard Smith. I'm a student here. I've been so since about 1990 something, and I guess it's showing. I got gray hair, but basically I'm here today because I know that this is a resource allocation committee, and I'm noticing something. I've been a student here a while, but I'm noticing something that, to me, maybe you guys can help me with. And I see it as possibly a resource allocation problem. Now, let me explain what I'm talking about. I'm a student in the kinesiology program, among other things. So I go over there to the W building every morning and get changed. And things aren't what they used to be. Now, I know that PCC is state-of-the-art for transfer rate, for facilities, for technology enhancements and things like that, but something's happening over there. I go over there in the morning and I spend personally about half an hour removing things from the drains in the shower, cleaning out items that homeless people have left in there. I won't gross you out with the details, but I will give you some examples. Well, obviously this is one of the examples. I'll just circulate that if I may. And the reason I'm saying this is a resource allocation issue is that some of these things that are happening, this costing the school money, and that's one of them. This is just now. They tear the soap out of the dispensers, and so as students we try and bring it back to facilities. Maybe they can reuse them. So there's a cost issue right there. In addition, there's the matter of cleaning up the facility, which, like I said, takes a lot of custodial time as well as student time. We go in there and try and help the guys out. They tell us they're understaffed. And then finally, of course, there's a health issue that it brings up. I won't gross you out with the details, but in that pile of things that's typical Monday morning, things that I find include razor blades, used condoms, and things of that nature. So I'm saying maybe if we look at it from a resource allocation point of view, maybe there's something that we can do about it. I'm thinking that, first of all, in talking to the security folks, they tell me that they're short-staffed, that there's an issue with implementing the school policy of locking up the building at 10 because the lockers are posted 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. closed. Well, in fact, they're not. And this is because I would suggest that the security is understaffed. They can't go on there. And talking to the school police, there's one guy running around like securing the whole school, and it's really a bit over their heads. So they have a concern there. I thought that maybe I should bring that to your attention. Additionally, the facilities guys tell me that they just have one person to not only do the W building showers, but a lot of other things in the morning as well. So I'm thinking that if there's some way to juggle these resources so that these folks can perhaps get more time, get more staff, so that these things can be addressed. I'm thinking it's going to save the school some money, and it's going to make it more sanitary, and it's going to make it more a pride item for the school, because, you know, I've been here a long time. You know, I'm proud of the school. I know you are. We've got a lot of beautiful facilities, but I kind of hate to see this happen. So I thought that by bringing this to your attention, maybe, you know, we could perhaps address it and have things back to where they were. So thanks for your attention. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you.
Okay. I
So
don't know if there's anything that I should
we really
respond to
can't
questions.
address it because it's not on the agenda, and this is, we operate within the Brown Act.
Yes, I understand the
reporting rules.
Brown Act limitations.
But I will say that we'll bring it to the attention of the Executive Director of Facilities and Construction Services and to the Chief of Police. I will say that I don't recall off the top of my head the lines in the budget for facilities, but the security line for the additional staffing, the cadet program has been increased this year. So it should be better. But we'll talk with both of them to see if it can be addressed.
Well, thanks so much. And
Sure.
again, I know that you guys have a fixed budget. You know, I mean, I read this, I know about that. But, you know, hopefully just with a little juggling, maybe,
Yeah, we'll
you
definitely
know,
talk.
it could help. Well, thanks for your attention, and
Thank you.
I hope it helps. Okay,
Thank
you guys
very
take
much.
care.
You too. Do you want to take these back?
Up to you.
We
It
can
will
keep
help
them.
you in your seeking to get some support, you know. Be my guest.
Great, thank you very
All right,
much.
Thanks again.
Have a good
See you
day.
guys later.
Thank you.
All right, so now we have the approval of minutes, and they are attached to the agenda. We can take the next 2 minutes to go through and see if there's anything that needs to be adjusted, and then we'll wait for a motion in a second.
Do you have a quorum?
Do we have a quorum?
Yeah, you have to have a quorum, don't
I don't, we have two.
you? To vote in anything, I would think.
Okay, then we can, I don't know if we have a quorum. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. And we have, Richard, you're here, right? Where's Richard's name?
I'm an alternate.
Well, we have you down as a classified rep. Let's just take roll call. Do we have, is it Nunez?
Nuna.
Nuna is
Yes.
here. Julia Russo is not. Ann Sherb is not. Gary Potts is not. Jeff is not. Julio is not. Richard is. Arkova is not. David is not. Mary Aaron we have, and we have Mark in place of Julie. And Rod is not. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we are 2 short. So we can just make this an information discussion, or we can break. Information? Okay.
Yeah, let's do
So
Sure.
the set for the approval of the minutes for June 23rd, they need to go to the next meeting.
Okay.
All right, so that's being passed. Okay, so I was hoping that Crystal was going to be able to join us to talk about item number 3, which is the increase in the fawn number and cost impact. And either Crystal or Dr. Junie, but I think Dr. Junie's in another meeting, and Crystal unfortunately went home sick. But we finally got our report from the State Chancellor's Office on the faculty obligation number for fiscal year 16-17. And our projection, based on the FTES, was short. Our FTES exceeded what we thought it was going to be. That report is done, I think, in May. So we got the first report from the Chancellor's Office, I want to say about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. And it was short by 9 positions. And then we got a revision report, I think yesterday, that showed that we were short an additional, not 9, but another 5 on top of that. So 14 total.
Wow.
So we've done incredibly well with the number of students that we serve, with the FTES that it generates. The faculty obligation number, I am not an expert in this, so I please don't hold me to anything I'm saying, but I think I'm saying the right thing. It's based on the reporting that we do at P2, and the P2 report, I believe, goes to the Chancellor's Office in May. So that's why we learn these things after the year has begun. We're making the adjustments in the budget. If we do not fund these positions and we do not move forward with hiring, we still have to pay for them. There is a Board of Governors mandate that we have to pay. So if we do not hire the people to fill the positions, there's a $71,096 cost whether or not the position is filled or it is filled. So if it's not filled, the state will just hold the money from us and they will not pay us. So as a projection, just to give everybody a number,
And then 71 per position, right?
per position, yeah. So if we have 14 and we didn't fill 10 of them at $710,000, that the state would hold back from us in apportionment. So we did a quick analysis to see how much the additional, 14 positions would be. And if you remember, at the tentative budget, we said a number of times, tentative is based on estimates that we have. We don't get the advanced apportionment report until the end of July, beginning of August. But based on our numbers, the 50 new faculty was going to be 6.2 million. That's for an average salary. That is for the medical costs and all of the employer mandated costs. So on top of that, if we have now 14 other positions that we need to add, the average salary for the 14 positions will equate $1.17 million. The benefits, medical benefits would be $358,000. The employer mandated costs would be just under $200,000. And then the lines that we increase in the budget for computers, district telephone, office supplies, space, training, travel, utilities, that's about $178,000. So in total, we're looking at an additional $1.9 million for labor costs. This is, in my opinion, this is a very good expense for the district. This allows us to support more students. It allows us to put on more sections. It allows for the opportunity to gain more revenue through state apportionment. This is a good expense. So even though it's a cost increase, the money that we get back in place of it is it's the right way it's spending money the right way. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay?
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
You talked about what if we don't fill these positions? Is there discussion of not filling the 14 or some part of the 14? Is that?
It's actually not a conversation that fiscal would be a part of. That's usually between, I think, Dr. Juni and probably Dr. Storti.
Okay.
For the purpose of the budget, to be safe, we're making sure that they are funded in the budget.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But whether or not it plays out.
So you're just talking about it theoretically?
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay. All right, so that's item number 4. Item number 5, I asked to have this on the agenda simply because I don't remember if I mentioned it at the last meeting. As I was walking into the last meeting, we became aware of our fiscal year 15-16 final report. The deficit factor, every year, the Chancellor's Office holds back a percentage of the state apportionment that we're going to get. Last year it was 1.22%, which was about $1.5 million, and they actually zeroed it out, which means that they had enough money in the system to completely fund our apportionment. So we had an additional $1.5 million come in at the very last minute, but because we had reductions throughout the year where they took some money back for a variety of reasons, it was a net gain of $885,000. So for our ending balance and our beginning balance, we know for sure that there'll be an additional $885,000 as we're reconciling the books and closing them for fiscal year 15-16. So that's a good thing. We just wanted to share it.
That gets rolled over into...
Yeah. So it becomes part of the end of the year balance, which is the new beginning balance of the new fiscal year.
And it goes into the general fund?
Yes, it's all Fund 1. Okay. So just as an update, we're still doing the year-end closing. The Chancellor's Office budget workshop for Southern California is next Thursday, August 4th. The apportionment reports have been posted online. I just realized that today, but they've been there for a few days. And so we're now doing a reconciliation. And it looks like for fiscal year 16-17, the apportionment is about $1 million higher than what we estimated it would be. So that's another piece of good news, which will actually help offset the additional cost here. What else can we share? Actually, what's that? We had a little bit, so lottery money we get throughout the year. It's paid quarterly, right, Heather?
Mm-hmm.
So it's paid quarterly. And in July, we got the final report for lottery for fiscal year 15-16. And there are two components. There's a component that goes towards our unrestricted money and a component that goes towards the restricted money. So we had about $1 million increase in lottery money, which helps us because we can go into, as we're closing the books, we can go into every transaction and say, okay, this is a instructional supply. This is something that was used in the classroom. And instead of spending Fund $1, our unrestricted dollars, we can use the lottery money to pay for it. So we do a journal voucher to lighten the load a little bit with our Fund $1. So that helps our year-end balance. It helps our year-end balance be larger than what we projected it would be at the time of the tentative. So also a very good piece of good news.
So when the new budget goes to the board, that's going to happen in
September
September.
7th. Yeah.
This money will be like rolled over into it, or what? How does that?
Some of it will be rolled over, but what happens in 15-16 for the full year period, Hedva can actually look at all of the transactions and say, Fund 1 unrestricted dollars paid for that set of academic books for the library. So instead of paying for it with Fund 1 money, we can do a journal voucher and pay for it with the lottery dollars instead. Which is restricted. So it helps our bottom line at the end of the year become larger,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
which means our beginning balance for the next year is larger than what we
Right.
thought it
So
would be.
that
Okay.
money goes back into the general fund.
Yes.
So you shuffle things around, but in the end, the impact is that
The general fund
Is
beginning balance is larger than we projected.
Is there enough to recoup the entire million?
No, so we had, let's say, 800,000 that we could journal voucher. We're allowed to move the other 200,000 into fiscal year 16-17 to help with those costs. So it was a nice surprise. We didn't see it coming.
Are we gonna get, I don't know when you typically do this, Joe, but we get the item budget?
So in our next BRAC meeting,
Mhm.
we should have finalized the recommended adopted budget,
Mhm.
the presentation that would be done for the board. Yeah, those two items that go to the board. It's the high level summary. It's an 8-page summary
Mhm.
that says all of the money that's coming in based on the estimate from the Chancellor's office, how those dollars are being spent, and in what part of the budget that comes in.
And that also has the adopted 15-16, the actual 15-16, and then 16-17?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's actually the adjusted budget, the actuals for the year, and then the new year adopted budget. Yeah, that's the 8-page
Okay.
summary.
If that's done early, is there a way we can look at it?
Sure.
Okay.
But honestly, it's a lot of work. I don't know
Yeah,
that we
well,
will
it does
be.
look like a lot of
Yeah.
work. I don't.
But yeah,
Okay.
okay. So it's probably the fastest BRAC meeting I think I've ever been a part of. But our next meeting is August 25th. So if we can, we'll try to move that up a little bit. And I say that because we need to finalize the package and get it out for the board package. And then the meeting after that is September 22nd, but it will go to the board on September 7th for approval, the recommendation for approval. And then the following meeting is October 27th. And they're all in this room, Lisa?
Yes.
Okay. At 2:30. And if we have no other questions, we can adjourn.
So moved.
So moved. All right.
Oh, we don't have to move because
That's
it's an
right.
information meeting. All right.
Okay. Thanks, you guys.